Hello and welcome back to another FPL video. Now again we've got another quick turnaround of game week. So game week 34 starts up tomorrow, so we've only got the one day to recover from game week 33 to plan for game week 34. Now I have activated my free hit chip. Now this is a plan that I've been thinking about for the last several weeks now. So game week 32 I decided not to do it where I know a lot of other people did. Now, game week 32, I did plan for 11 players playing. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and really, I only ended up with 8, really. I did have 9 playing, I had 2 injuries, and one guy got me nothing, which was a really frustrating thing. So I managed to take a massive red arrow because of that, and I've had a torrid time recently, and my rank's gone from 20k to 181k in like 4 or 5 game weeks. So I've had a horrible time. But this game week 34 free hit chip is something I've been planning for a while, and this is where I'm going to find out if it was worth it. Now, I have seen a few people who are free hit chipped game week 32, and they're looking like they've got 11 plays for 34, so probably a short panic at the minute in terms of what's going to happen. Will I really have much of a high ranking afterwards? But I ain't going to worry about that right now. What I've got to worry about is the team selection I'm going to pick for game week 34. Now, before I go through all that, let's look back on game week 33 and see how I managed to get on. So this is how I got on in game week 33, and I finally, after 5 horrible game weeks of getting red arrows, I finally got a green arrow. 74 points overall. It could have been even better if Dan Burn never came on for Villa, and I could have had those 5 points from Henry. But unfortunately, Tiger got a yellow card, so Eddie Howe felt like he had to put Dan Burn on, so I could have had an extra 4 points, so it could have been 78. But I'd definitely take 74 points. I'm just happy to finally get a green arrow. It feels like it's been so long now, but yeah, I feel good. Let's start off with my goalkeepers then. So the first big decision I had to make was I going to go for Kepa or was I going to go for Raya? Now, I always felt like there was going to be goals in this from a Brentford perspective. I wasn't actually sure about Chelsea because they're so bad at the minute. They've got a terrible interim manager, absolutely awful interim manager, and they're just not scoring goals. So I felt more comfortable for going for the Brentford goalkeeper, and man, it worked. I was absolutely buzzing about that. It's never easy when your teams are playing against each other when you've got the goalkeeper, so I was really happy about that. Obviously, Kepa just got the 1 point, whereas Raya, I said before last week, well, it was a few days ago now, that I reckon he'll get a save point, maybe not a clean sheet. He did get a save point, but he also did get a clean sheet as well as, so he absolutely smashed it. 9 points for Raya. That was a great start to my team. Absolutely buzzing about that. Then we look at onto the defenders. So obviously on my bench I had Zinchenko. Never thought he'll get any points. I was absolutely right. Arsenal got annihilated by Man City, really. It was quite shocking, really, considering it was top versus second. But I feel like Man City just showed their true colours right there, and they absolutely annihilated Arsenal. So I'm glad I left him on the bench. But Henry, 5 points. He got a yellow card, so he didn't get 6, which was a little, well, I was going to say a little disappointing, but it doesn't really matter because he was on my bench. A little frustrating, but I daren't go for the gamble because I just had a feeling Chelsea actually might score. But they ended up failing to score, so again, so missed out on points there. Dan Burn, the frustrating guy, obviously he was benched for the Everton game. Was quite surprised about it, didn't expect that, but I did think, oh, Henry, I might get those Henry points. Didn't happen, he came on, got the 1 point. I'm kind of actually relieved though that Newcastle did concede, because I know I got Kieran Trippier, who I think's blanked in like 10 game weeks now, something like that. It's not done well for a while, but I know a lot of people have had a second Newcastle defender that's not Dan Burn, so it's like Shaw. So the fact that obviously Shaw started and didn't get the clean sheet, that really did help me in terms of points or rank possibly, I reckon. And then obviously I'm not going to speak too much about Trippier, like I just said. Just 2 points again, another blank, bit of surprise. Maybe it's time to take him out. To be honest, I daren't, but it could be the time. But finally, look at that defender right in the middle. So Reece James was in my team. We found out just before the deadline that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So thank you, Chelsea, for letting us know. And I had a big decision to make on who should I bring in. and I just felt like Aston Villa had a real good chance of keeping a clean sheet. I had no interest at all in terms of going for a wing back who might score a goal, get an assist. For me, I decided to go for a defender that's going to start 90 minutes for sure and just hope that they get the clean sheet. And that's what I did with Tyrone Mings. And boy, did he pay off for me big time. To get a goal was absolutely beautiful. Just what I wanted. And I got lucky as well because he did technically score an own goal. It got ruled off though for offside, so got away with that one massively. I did think he was going to get the clean sheet. I felt more comfortable with Villa getting a clean sheet against Fulham because I feel like Fulham, they're a bit cold at the minute. Obviously Mitrovic is still out, so they haven't got really out and out goal scorer right now, and it paid off. I'm really happy with that. Definitely take those 3 bonus points on top of that, so not bad. One transfer I made for that game week and I got 15 points out of it, so buzzing about that. Midfield wise, we'll go with Jarbo on my bench first. Now, this was a whirlwind, I was going to say. It was a tough watch at first, obviously, because Jarrod Bowen did score against Liverpool at some point in the game. And I said it to myself when it happened. I knew he was going to score. I was ranting about it, but thankfully, it got ruled out for offside. If there was one player I didn't want to score for West Ham, it was Jarrod Bowen, because he did score against Liverpool. But because he was on my bench, I didn't want that goal to count, and thankfully it didn't. So I'd be so frustrated if I saw Bowen with a goal and Henry with a clean sheet just sitting on my bench. But it didn't count, so I got away with that one. Now, in terms of how the rest of my midfield have gone, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty shocking, to be fair. So we'll start off from the positive. James Maddison started, buzzing about that, and he got an assist. So I was really relieved about that. Now, he did get 1 bonus point as well as, but it could have been 2. Right at the end, it got taken away from him. He only had 1 in the end, but definitely going to take an assist from James Maddison, especially the terrible, terrible form that he's been on for me personally in terms of getting reward for points. But yeah, hopefully then he'll kick on. Now, he's not on my game week 34 team, so I don't mind blanking for 1 more week. Then hopefully he'll kick on for 35. But yeah, really happy he got that assist. So I got 6 points from Maddison. Mo Salah, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty disappointed with him. 2 points, no goals. I mean, I did think he'll get a goal against West Ham. I do think West Ham's a tough place to go to. I think that they're a good team as well, despite the season. But yeah, just 2 points. And when I made the transfer for Reece James to Mings, at the time Salah was my captain. Now this is just before the deadline, and I decided last minute, you know what, I'm just going to go Haaland. I'm not going to bet against him again. And thank God I did that, because that would have just pushed me off the edge, man. So yeah, got away with that one. So just 2 points there. Massive disappointment there. And then the Brighton boys, just 2 points each. They were disappointing, not going to lie. I mean, Nottingham Forest, I think they're pretty decent home, to be fair. But I didn't expect it to be 3-1. I did think Brighton would probably just narrowly win the game, if anything. But McAllister, he did start deep. They made a few rotational changes, the Brighton manager. So McAllister unfortunately played more of a CDM role, which is a little frustrating. But Matoma, I did think maybe he could get a goal or an assist, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And then finally my strikers. So obviously Erling Haaland absolutely smashed it. Now I did think Arsenal would be a much tougher game than they were, but I did say as well Rob Holding's going to struggle against Haaland, and he did. So yeah, absolutely smashed it. 28 points. I mean, there were a lot of people who have him as captain now, so it probably didn't affect my rank too much, but I'm just happy that I got the captain right. 2 weeks in a row now. Happy with that. Slanky got an assist. Definitely taking that. Now, I did think he would score against Southampton, to be fair, but he didn't. But I'll take the assist. It was a tight game, 1-0. I'll have to take that. I mean, it would have been nice to get some bonus points because it was a tight game and he got an assist, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. It turns out only Harry Kane's allowed bonus points if he gets an assist, so that's how that goes. And then finally, Tony. Bit disappointed with him, to be fair. I mean, kind of got lucky he didn't get a yellow card, because obviously there was a few bust-ups and he got involved, but he didn't get the yellow card, thankfully. But yeah, when it's 2-0, you're thinking Tony might have got 1 goal, maybe even an assist, but no, he blanked in this game week, unfortunately. So only the 2 points for Tony. But overall, I'm really, really happy with 74 points. And most importantly, to get that green arrow finally to get that rotten run done with. So then, let's go through my team so far for game week 34. So this is subject to change to the deadline, and it probably will change. It's changed a few times since I activated the chip due to injuries I've had already. So we'll go through the bench first. So clear to see that I've just gone for the cheapest of the cheap when it comes to the bench. There's no point in having any money left over when it comes to being on the bench, because these players I have no plans, or I'm hoping none of them actually come into my team and play with the 11 that I've picked so far. So first up, I've got Zanko Jorgensen of Brentford. Now originally this was Nico Williams, but he broke his jaw the other night, so I've had to make a swap there. And when it comes to replacing him, there's literally nobody that actually plays at that price. So I've gone for Jorgensen. I know he played 90 minutes the other night against Chelsea, but do I think he's going to play against Forest? No, because he went for a back five against Chelsea. I don't think he's going to do that against Forest. Now I know he got an assist against Chelsea and he got a nice clean sheet in that, but I don't think he's going to play. And to be honest, I'm hoping that I don't need him when called upon. Greenwood, I mean, cheapest striker you can get, so that's pretty much really all I have to say about him. I have no plans for him to play, and I don't think he is going to play. And then finally, Totti of Wolves. I mean, he could play some minutes. Whatever it is at Wolves, they'll rotate those defenders like there's no tomorrow. Now, again, I could have had Bueno. He was starting a few games, but again, he gets rotated. So having Wolves wing backs is an absolute nightmare. So I've got, hopefully he doesn't come on either. So I don't think any of these players are going to come on at all. I think the 11 will be fine. So they're literally just cheap, so I can get more money into my 11. And finally, Iverson, 3.8 million goalkeeper. That plays. I mean, can't argue with that. I don't think there's even cheaper than 3.7. Well, 3.8 should I say. There's no 3.7 goalkeepers. So it's the cheapest goalkeeper you can get. And he starts, which is an extra bonus. But as you can see from my goalkeeper there, Iverson is not going to play. It is going to be Edison. He is the goalkeeper I'm choosing. Now, I could have gone for David De Gea, but I don't like his second fixture at all. I think Brighton, they're a great team, to be fair to them. I just don't feel like he's going to be able to keep the clean sheet against Brighton. Whereas Man City, Fulham away. I've already mentioned now, obviously Mitrovic isn't playing at the minute for Fulham, so I don't feel like they're much of a threat right now. So I feel comfortable that Man City can keep a clean sheet there. Then obviously they're at home then to the Etihad. Oh, not to the Etihad. They're at home at the Etihad to West Ham. West Ham, they might be feeling a little bit comfortable right now, so they could let their foot off the gas against Man City. And I do feel like there's a good chance that he could get 2 clean sheets out of both these games. So that is why I've gone for Edison as my goalkeeper. Had no plans to go for the Brighton goalkeeper due to rotational issues. And Liverpool, they just concede like there's no tomorrow. Okay, so on to my defenders now. So I've gone for a back 3. Now I've got Robinson in my first defender. Now I wanted Trent, not going to lie, but I couldn't afford him for the team that I would have preferred. So I've decided to go for Robinson because I've got more money to put on the rest of my team. I did think for a second about going for a double Liverpool defence, but then the West Ham game reminds me of why I don't want to do that. Now I know they both got assists in that game, but to concede a goal against West Ham could have been 2. Conceded 2 against Forest the other night at home as well. I'm not comfortable at all going for double Liverpool defence, so I decided to go for Robinson. 2 home games, so I'm hoping that they can keep clean sheets, and it'd be even better if he can manage an assist or 2 in those games. Lindelof, I mean, not so confident really when it comes to clean sheets, to be honest, with this one. I think Aston Villa at home, Brighton away is a horrible double game week for Man United, to be fair. Both of those teams are doing great this season, so I'm not confident. Now, whether he'll start as well, I'm 80% confident he will start. Obviously, Martinez and Varane, they're out for the season. Maguire's in no decent form at all. And Luke Shaw, he could come in. I mean, it'd be a nightmare if he comes in for Lindelof, because I think Lindelof, since he's come back into the team, I think he's played alright, to be fair. But like I said, confidence-wise, I'm not confident. I'm hoping at least get 4 points. If he's got less than that, I mean, United conceding more, and I don't want that. So I'm hoping at least 4. Any more than that will be an absolute bonus, I think. And then finally, Espinian. I mean, 2 home fixtures really. It's pretty decent, to be fair. I think they can do well against Wolves, and it's going to be a tough game against Man United. that could be a high scoring game or it could be a 0-0. Couldn't even predict that one, but I feel more comfortable with the Wolves game. I feel like they could win by a couple of goals. I think Wolves, I think they're pretty comfortable right now. I think they're safe, and I think they could let their foot off the gas. It is away for Wolves, so obviously Brighton are the home team, so a bit more confident on that one. But with the Man United game, I mean, I ain't got a clue what's going to happen there. But like I said, I didn't fancy going for double Liverpool defence. I didn't fancy going for another Man City defender because you can never predict when it comes to Pep who's going to play. So that's why I've gone for that back three. So yeah, so these are my two strikers that I've gone for up front. So I've already mentioned Erling Haaland before. So yeah, he's going to be my captain. Fulham away, West Ham at home. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. He's just going to... I'm confident he can score. Whether he doesn't or he does is it irrelevant. I'm just confident that he will score. He scored comfortably against Arsenal. He gets assists as well as... So I've got no problems at all when it comes to Erling Haaland. But obviously the issue is everyone owns Erling Haaland. So it doesn't matter. But he is going to be my captain for this game week. And obviously, alongside him, I've decided to go for Diego Jota. It's a bit of a gamble, obviously, because any other attacker except Salah gets rotated. He only played 59 minutes the other night against West Ham, so he did get taken off early. Is that precaution? Because he's obviously he had injuries, and obviously they've got this double game week coming up, so he wants him to start. Because he does start. That's the thing. Diego Jota, since he's come back, he's starting. Nunez is the one that's not. And obviously, you got Diaz is back, so there's going to be a lot of rotation. Gakpo might get rotated. It's a gamble whichever Liverpool player you go for. I'm going for Diego Jota because he's starting games. I do like Diego Jota. He does seem to create issues, and in the past he's always been great. So it's a bit of a gamble, but it's one I'm more comfortable going for. So yeah, I'm going to have to go Erling Haaland with Diego Jota up front. So yeah, overall that team looks great. And there you go, that's how my free hit team looks so far. It probably will change, maybe will change, all depending on that De Bruyne, whether he'll play or not. But yeah, I'm 80% confident most of those players will play for game week 34 in my team. But yeah, team looks great. I do hope you like this video, and please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.